the head basketball coach at the University of Michigan, Juwan Howard, who was our Big Ten Coach of the Year last year, the National Coach of the Year, had an unbelievable 16-year NBA career, a really, really special person, a special coach, and I'm glad that he's in the Big Ten. Coach Juwan Howard.
Good morning, everyone. That fight song never gets old to me. That's all I will say right there. Brings me great energy for this morning. It's good to see everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you, Commissioner Warren, Big Ten Conference, and all the folks that works behind the scenes on making this all work. Last season, it was a lot of fun. We also, thankfully so, were safe during the tournament situation. We enjoyed it. Our guys really had fun throughout the process of the games that were displayed during one of the toughest conferences, if not the toughest conference in college basketball. I personally am honored to be the head coach at a prestigious university, the University of Michigan men's basketball. So if any of you have any questions today, please feel free. I'm here to answer them, and we're going to have some fun with this. Yes, sir.
Coach, how you doing? I'm Mike with On the Move with Sports College Media, and you coming in your first year and making such a big impact after John Beilein, who has such great success over there at Michigan.
Right.
For you to bring this brand of basketball to Michigan and to have them playing with the intensity that they do, I can see when you got the job, I can see the expression in your face and the emotion going through your heart. So
Right.
I know that has to kind of settle in a little bit before you actually start thinking completely about basketball. So what do you think about bringing, Eli and Hunter back with some of the new recruits merging together under your tutelage?
Well, first I would say this, yes. The emotion that I displayed when I was first hired, it showed how much I cared about this opportunity. And when someone puts their heart in it, obviously they don't give you everything. And I think our players, the school, alumni, everyone that supports the program, seen that emotion being displayed and shared within our team. And last season, during the pandemic, during the COVID year, how our team responded and how they all was connected and played for one another. It was beautiful. It was inspiring to watch. I learned a lot from that group. I commend them, all the testing that they had to go through, to still buy into the vision, to stay locked in on the main thing being the main thing, but at the same time, with all that, having fun. And I did not want to make sure that they, and I'm speaking of they, the players, student athletes, the staff, to enjoy it because it was tough. Now, with Eli coming back, Hunter returning as well, and then we also have Brandon Johns, Adrian Nunez, and then a mixture of some newcomers as far as freshmen, as well as some sophomores like Terrence Williams Jr., Zeb Jackson, and Jace Howard. We have a very competitive group. Every day that I drive into work, I'm so excited to get an opportunity to go in there and coach and learn from them, and we learn from each other and grow together. So as the season progresses, when it gets ready to start soon, it's all about health. We want our health first, and we want to continue to keep striving to try to be a competitive group.
Thank you, Coach.
Hi, Juwan, Andrew Kahn, good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Kim was up here talking about the relationship between the two programs,
Yes.
Yours and hers. I was hoping you could do the same, share some insights on that.
Well, I'm so happy for Kim and the program, the success they had last season. They had to endure and fight through with a lot. and the way how they responded was a reflection on the head coach. She's a great person, a fighter, smart. She has amazing staff, and then to see the success of how it all panned out towards the end. And unfortunately, they did not want the season to end the way it did, just like us. But I'm just happy to be a part of, sharing in the same building with someone who is opening, welcoming, fun, smart. I sit in some of her practices and watch how her team competes and watch how her staff is able to help lead those young ladies and developing them to become the best version of themselves. And I've learned a lot from her. And so I will continue to support her program, the players, because they're beautiful people, man. And they're very talented, and I'm going to be their biggest fan.
Juwan, Tom Brew from Sports Illustrated Indiana. A lot was made when you came back to Michigan from all those years in the NBA and such, and now that same thing is happening in Indiana with Mike Woodson coming back. What was the most important thing you learned in making that adjustment? And if you could, tell me your best Mike Woodson story.
Well, the first thing I learned when I first came from the NBA to the college level was getting to know, everyone in the building, to know the names of the managers, getting to know the folks that runs the building, to keep the place clean and safe for us. The second adjustment, the recruiting. The recruiting was a lot different from coming from the NBA. Everyone come to you, and now you have to sell your program, you have to sell yourself, and you have to sell the vision and the culture. So the recruiting was an adjustment. The best Mike Woodson story, I would say, would be back when Coach Woodson was in Atlanta, and he was coaching the Atlanta Hawks, and I was playing for the Charlotte, at that time they were called the Charlotte Bobcats. So Coach Woodson, having an amazing, talented group, played in the NBA for so many years and had success while doing it. He's always had a very competitive team that plays hard from start to finish. And I expect that with the Indiana University on how his team is going to be played this season. Smart coach, hard worker, what he's learned from the NBA, I'm sure, I'm not saying he's going to do everything that he's done, over his years coaching the NBA, but it shows that the guy knows basketball, that I know his team is going to be competing from start to finish. And he's going to be another coach, along with the other coaches in the Big Ten, that keep me up at night trying to see how we're going to scout against this group and prepare for his team.
James Boyd, Herald Review. Juwan, Isaiah Barnes actually grew up where I grew up. He went to Romeoville High School his freshman year, Marwood High School. Never thought he'd be in Michigan. No disrespect to him, it's just he kind of blew up. So what type of things did you see in him that you maybe want to go get him, and what type of impact do you think he could have as a freshman?
Well, I'll first start with the person. I was impressed with getting to know him and his family, as far as what a high character individual he is, being a great student, his knowledge for the game of basketball, and then I got to know more about his pedigree, on where he come from, spending some time in, like you just touched on, the Romeoville area, as well as the Chicago area. And I have a little bit of knowledge about Chicago, basketball, and some of the guys that come out of that city, and how basketball is considered the #1 sport, and the passion and competitiveness that being a part of the Public League South, where Simeon, where he ended up transferring to, yes, he did blow up for people did not know much about him, but I had a chance to watch him when my son, Jace Howard, was playing in the Under Armour tournament. At that time, it was 16U, and I watched Isaiah's team play when he was playing for the Illinois Wolves, and I was like, this kid is pretty special. He's got an amazing skill set. But then, after talking to him more and more and seeing, what he wanted from his college, future, I just felt Michigan was the best place for him, and that's why I went after him, and I'm just happy that he's a part of our family.
Okay, we have time for one more question in the back.
Craig Waddell, Neighbors Media. Hi, Juwan.
Good morning.
Eli Brooks, Brandon Johns, you mentioned both of them coming back. I look around the country and I see attrition at a level higher than it's really ever been, yet your program seems to retain players despite bringing in such a vaunted recruiting class, despite bringing in transfers. What is it about your program that seems to get players to want to stick around and compete?
It's Michigan. Michigan, not saying it in an arrogant way, but it's a special place that always keep reeling you back in. Ann Arbor's a beautiful city. The Michigan Block M, it never gets old to all of us. The energy that you go into the building, and this building I'm speaking of is the Michigan Stadium, and watch a football game with 115,000 plus there cheering on Coach Harbaugh's team. And then you have the Michigan education. That speaks volumes in a lot of ways. Top 10 in law school, top 10 in the Ross Business School. Ross actually is top 3. And you can go on and on and on. And you talk about Michigan athletics. A guy by the name of our athletic director, Ward Manuel, has done an amazing job with his leadership and finding fine coaches in every program that find ways to really help and care for our young student athletes in a lot of ways to help them become powerful young men and women that they can do great things. And Eli and many others have trusted that vision, and we just hope that we can continue to get more Eli Brooks of the world a part of the University of Michigan family.
Thank you so much for your time today, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. You guys stay safe and go blue.